Welcome to the next in a series of videos about how to stay on track for however long it is. And this topic we're going to deal with is getting a grip on your locus of control. Sounds like a very lofty process, but it's actually a lot more simple. But by learning what your locus of control is and learning how to control it, then you will do a lot better on whatever your goals are, whether it's losing weight, having better relationships, or just being happier in general. So the other name that we have for this is how can I change if I don't take control? And that's what we're going to look at. First thing we're going to do is we're going to define what a locus of control is, let you determine where your locus of control resides, come up with some ways to change your locus of control. But probably the very first question that almost anybody would have would be, why would I let a bug control me? So let's make sure that we understand this is not the locus of control, it is a locus of control. The only bug that's going to be controlling you is when you feel bugged because you're not getting what it is that you want. So let's understand locus of control. That's an important thing. And we're going to give you a 3-question quiz. Answer the questions honestly. You might want to keep a note. All you have to do is write down A or B. You ready? So here comes the first one. Let's say you're trying to lose some weight and you stand on the scale and you've had a weight gain. Do you say to yourself, after you swear or cry, depending on the mood you're in, do you say to yourself, ugh, my weight went up, or it's not going down? Do you refer to it in effect in the third person? My weight went up. It's something else. Or do you say something along the lines of, I caused my weight to go up? One is saying my weight went up as its own action. The other is saying I caused my weight to go up. A or B. Next up. You're trying to resolve a conflict with a loved one. He or she said something you didn't like. You know you need to talk it out. Do you say, you made me mad, or you made me angry, or you hurt my feelings, or something along those lines, starting with the word you? Or do you say something such as, when you say things like that, I get angry. Or when you do something like that, I react by being sad. Does it start with you made me, or does it start with when you? Or in other words, are you talking about you or the other person? A, you made me, whatever feeling. B, when you say things like that, I get whatever feeling. Third and final question in the quiz. Your life is extremely busy and you have no time to accomplish what needs to be done. You're the proverbial running around with a chicken with his head cut off. Do you say to yourself, things are out of control? Or do you say, I'm not organizing my life well, or I'm not prioritizing well? A or B? So those are the three questions, just a very simple quiz. So let's take a look at what that means. Now we want to figure out your locus of control. You could have answered B to many of them, such as things are out of control. You made me mad. Yick, my weight went up. You could have answered A. When you say things like that, I get angry. I'm not organizing my life very well. I caused my weight to go up. If you basically answered B, you are establishing an external locus of control. You are putting the control of your actions outside of you. You are saying things are out of your control. You made me mad. My weight went up. These are all things that are not within you, at least psychologically. If, on the other hand, you answered A, such as when you say things like that, I get angry, or I am not organizing my life very well, or I caused my weight to go up, you have an internal locus of control. In other words, you're owning the results based on your actions. You might not be proud of it, you might not feel good about it, but you're saying, I caused my weight to go up, because your weight doesn't just happen. You don't have to get angry when somebody does something. You've learned to do that. Your life is disorganized, but who made it as such? So one is internal, one is external, and most people have an external locus of control. The problem with that is as long as it's located outside of you, you can't make any changes. Once you own it and bring it inside of you, you have the opportunity to change it. So I keep talking about the locus of control. Let's define it, okay? The actual definition of a locus of control is it is a noun. It is a theoretical construct designed to assess a person's perceived control over his or her own behavior. The classification internal locus indicates that the person feels in control of events. An external locus indicates that others are perceived to have that control, that others control you. So, let's put it into English, explain it a little bit better. Simply put, do you believe you are in control of your actions, Or do you believe you're a victim to everyone else's whims and desires? If you believe you are in control of your actions, you have an internal locus of control. Locus is the location. If you believe that everybody else controls what happens to you or outside events control to you, you have an external locus of control. Now, don't go 100%, but stop and think to yourself, do I usually say things like you did or it happened, or do you say things like I made it, I did it? If you're usually saying you or it, it's probably external. If you're saying I or me, it's probably internal. Now, let's take a look at why this makes a difference. If you are somebody who has an external locus of control, then you tend to feel that most of your life is out of your control. In effect, you're putting out fires all the time. People are telling you what it is that you have to do. Bills might come in when you don't want it. The timetable is driving you crazy. You just eat because you can't think of anything else to do. Your weight might be out of control. That's an external locus of control, because things are outside of you. They're all coming at you, and you don't have any choice, for the most part, about what to do. If you can change it to an internal locus of control, which is what we'll talk about in a second, does it make everything get better for you? No. The people are still yelling, the responsibilities are still there, but once you decide that you own what's going on, once you take control of your life, it kind of puts a mask over the other things. Sure, you hear them. Sure, they can be annoying, but you realize you're in control of what it is that you want to choose. You make the decision about what's most important to you. You take responsibility for it. You move forward. And that's why we want to have an internal locus of control. So in order to do that, the thing is, we have to change the way we talk, because words matter. So to establish an internal locus of control, there are several things you can do. First of all, use expressions that own your actions. For example, I want to lose weight, or I will lose weight, or I can lose weight. Not something like it's not coming off, it's not working, things like that. Make them positive and look for the signs of success. I want, I will, I can. Now, some people start to think if I say I want a lot, then they're becoming kind of egocentric or maybe aggressive. We'll deal with that in a little bit. That's actually going to be a whole other subject. Other things that you can do is you can seek guidance from other people, which means being honest about needing help. But the bottom line is trusting that you know how to run your life better than anybody else does. Let other people help you. Let them help steer, but you make the final decisions as to where you're going. You own it. Just because somebody else says it doesn't mean you have to do it. The next thing that you can do in order to establish an internal locus is own your mistakes. Wow, I did that. I didn't do a good job of it. I messed it up. But do it without judgment. Remember, if guilt and shame were motivational, we'd all be more successful. Own the mistakes that you make. It's okay to make mistakes. This is school. This is life school. If you knew how to run it perfectly, you would already be running it. So own your mistakes without judgment. And then the other thing that you can do is try new things with regularity, because trying new things will get you different results. It will cause some mistakes. You will need guidance. But as you try new things, you will learn new techniques that work for you, which will once again help you feel more positive and establish the internal locus of control. As you go about this next week or next day, stop and think. Analyze your inner dialogue. Do you use a lot of you made me or it happened, or do you use a lot of I caused it, I did it? Try to get more of them to say I did it, I will, I can, and I am. Or that's your topic for establishing an internal locus of control. Now, I referenced about aggression a little while ago. So our next video, as a matter of fact, in its entirety, coming soon, our next topic is actually going to be being assertive without being aggressive. In other words, what is the difference between somebody who is assertive and somebody who is aggressive? We need to be assertive, but none of us want to be aggressive. Well, some people do, but nobody wants to be around them. Alrighty, that's the topic for this week. Thank you for being involved in my inner oval. If you know anybody else who would be interested, send them to 4monthstogoal.com or have them get in touch with me at thistimeImeanit.com. Thank you for watching the videos. Please leave your comments. I appreciate it. Take good care and treat yourself special.